stuff. Now, sometimes he does say to a 5-star hotel, you should not have dust on your railing walking in. This is a 5-star hotel. This should be spotless. But wouldn't it be great if all of our hotels could have that mentality all the time? But that's exactly what he's saying is totally on spot.
Oh, one of the things we've said for a very long time in the podcast is the only difference between a 5-star hotel and a 3-star hotel is your commitment to service.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a 3-diamond Best Western in Hoboken and have 5-star customer service. And I think that's what he's talking about.
Right. Well, I remember we were talking about things we could do to make a 3-star hotel have that feel, like adding extra staff at night and doing little things, waters and whatnot. But that's totally right.
As a matter of fact, I think that was our first episode where we talked about utilizing that multifunction evening or late afternoon staffer. Someone that could work on laundry, they could do bell staff, they could run the gamut and even help in reservations. And although, that's crazy to say. How many years ago was that, Scott?
That was a long time. What, 2008?
2008. That's amazing. 4 years we've been talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say that in this last 4 years, this is probably one of the most exciting podcasts for me that I've ever done.
Yeah, this is really going to be exciting, and we need to follow up with big, just more of the same, because that's exactly what we need to be doing. I love these type of interviews when you're talking to an expert in the industry. We ourselves have bounced off our ideas off each other for years, but bringing in people like Anthony is just fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. I'm totally pumped up for this experience. And like you said, we've been bouncing these ideas off each other for years, but I'm sure you're ready to hear someone different, right?
Yeah, I'm really getting sick of hearing your...
All right. So, oh, God. I'm sure my wife agrees. And most of my staff, too, to be perfectly honest. So here's what we're going to do. Let's give you a little bit of a background and housekeeping. Scott and I have about a 15-minute window with Anthony. He's going to be on a telephone because he's traveling for the show at the moment. So you might hear some background noise, maybe some honking, whatever. Please try and ignore it. Just concentrate on what he has to say, because I know it's going to be great. And we're going to take a break. We'll actually play a quick commercial when we come back. We'll get right in with Anthony. Does that sound good to you, Scott?
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to talking to him.
All right. Well, we'll be right back, folks. And in case I forget to say it later, because I'm pretty excited, thanks for allowing us to talk to you about hospitality.
To maximize your internet presence and marketing, it is necessary to take a next-gen approach. Next-gen Hospitality Solutions will guide you through the vital world of social media management. Social media is the newest and perhaps most innovative and vital form of marketing to come along in decades. Allow Next-Gen Hospitality Solutions to take the mystery out of internet marketing and maximize your internet market sales. Call us today at 1-806-416-1654. And remember, a Next-Gen Hospitality Solution is the only solution that makes sense.
All right, and so Anthony has now joined us on the line. Again, I want to reiterate how grateful we are to have him on the show. We're very excited about this. We're going to try and get through it without too much stuttering and fanboy guffaws. But as you know, Scott and I are big fans, Anthony, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Anthony, the first question I think we really want to know, and this is something Scott and I have discussed a lot on our podcast. We see on your show that you have to revisit the fundamentals a lot. Do you think this is the result of the recent boom in development without a corresponding increase in qualified labor pool, or do you think it's a basic lack of GM training, or is it even possibly the accidental hotelier career path that we see so much?
I think it's all three, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's too easy to blame the employees. It's too easy to blame lack of training. It usually comes down to the owners. As you see on the show, the owners are typically inexperienced, and they typically blame the employees, or they blame the economy, or they blame South Beach disease because everybody's lazy because of the sun. So people just don't take, and I think that's true really, not only in hotel business. I think that's true right now in our culture in America, that people look for the easy excuse. And when they realize that this is a very hard business, but easy business if you concentrate on the fundamentals. And I don't care if you're an asset manager, I don't care if you're an owner or a general manager or a housekeeper. People want a smile and a clean bed. There was just a USA Today poll, and I think 90% of the people polled, their number one concern was cleanliness. So out of all the things they asked, 90% of people said, give me a clean room and everything else is okay. So people overcomplicate things. Because they've never been in the business before, they think they're missing something. So they try to reinvent themselves, or they try to reinvent the hotel, and just don't concentrate on the basics. Once you have the basics, then the hotel becomes fun. Then you can market. Then you can do things with your staff. Then you can do things that you enjoy doing, but you have to take care of the fundamentals. So I think, to answer your question, I really think it's all three, but with the number one being that the owners typically just are not prepared to run hotels.
That's a scathing insight there. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, there are requirements for GMs in a brand, but there's no requirements for an owner, correct?
Right. I think I said in one of the shows, I don't know if it was edited out yet, but I said that there should be mandatory before somebody signs a legal document giving them a hotel, they should be able to go to ownership school. You know, when you have a baby, you should have to take parenting classes. It should be mandatory. When you take a hotel, you should have hotel training.
I think if you ran for president right now, you'd have the hotel vote. I really think that's true.
Well, my wife said to me, because I've done a lot in my career, and she said, if you run for president, I'm done. You will get divorced tomorrow.
There you go. Scott, you had a question for Anthony.
Yes, and I know you just kind of answered with clean rooms and having a smile, but other than that, do you see anything else that consumers are going to really want or demand from hotels?
Well, I've written about it, and I have a book coming out next year, beginning next year. I say it a couple of times in the book. I don't understand why our career field, we still don't give a free bottle of water and free internet. People demand it's the two biggest demands that corporate traveler wants. But more importantly, people want to basically transfer the comfort they have in their house. We all have our own comfortable chair. We have our comfortable space in our house. You close your eyes and you think of, where do I like to be in my house? There's always that one spot that you always just go to. So in a hotel, you have to find that spot, that comfortable space, whether it be a woman or a man, that they like to relax in. So people really want to feel like they're at home. You know, it's a very intimate, what we do is very intimate. People have sex in our beds. People sleep in our beds. People go to the bathroom in our bathrooms. People eat, drink, sleep. They find out about people who die. They get phone calls when they're in our rooms. When people pass away, they hear about wedding announcements. Everything that happens in your home happens in a hotel room. So people have to feel comfortable. So that really starts with cleanliness and a smile. But after that, it gets down to the comfortable bed. It gets down to the deep cleaning. So when I'm sitting on the bed and I'm looking in that corner, I don't see that dust. So I'm concentrating on my phone call, not concentrating on the dust in the corner. So really, you know, people simplify me and say, well, you're a clean guy. You like cleanliness and smile. No, I'm a lot more complicated than that. I'm a businessman. What I like is I like everything done well, and I like everything done so people don't think they're in a hotel room. They forget and they think they're in their home.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that. I think that's very insightful, and I think you're dead on with the bottle of water. It's such an inexpensive amenity that makes such a difference, especially if you've been driving for any length of time. I mean, it's nice to get that little refreshment. One of the things that we'd also like to ask you is, if you're on a tight budget, you got your bottled water, you got your free Wi-Fi, you're a limited service hotel, what's the next thing you can do? What's the next thing you look at? You got your cleanliness down. You got your amenity at check-in. What's the next thing that your limited service hotel can look at to make a wow factor?